Welcome back to another episode of Scryer's Room. I am your host, Famfare.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mario.
And today we're going to talk about...
It's time for
Oblivion.
Yes, sir.
Which Morrowind ran a little long. I'm going to try to be quicker about this. I don't have to lore dump on this one.
We've established all that stuff, yeah.
I will need to pause every now and then to explain some stuff, but this should be quicker. So Oblivion is the fourth mainline title. And it was released in March of 2006. This takes place in the Imperial heartland of Cyrodiil. And as is, now a tradition, the player is a prisoner. You're locked in a cell. Of course, how could this have happened? And then you're actually in the wrong cell by accident. They transferred you mistakenly to this cell. You're not supposed to be in there. But as fate would have it, this is the exact cell that is needed to smuggle the Emperor Uriel VII out of the city. So the Blades show up after the cell across from you is occupied by this shitty dark elf. So after he just talks shit to you for a little bit.
I love it, dude. He comes in hard.
Yeah.
The opening scene is him just being like, look at you, you pathetic wretch. Some shit like that.
And he changes what he says based on what race you are. So he's racist to every race.
He hates them all.
Yeah.
Does that make him the most racist or the least racist?
How does that work?
But so he just hates everyone equally, I guess.
Yeah.
But
He's just got hate in his heart.
yeah. So the Emperor shows up with his guards, the Blades, and the classic "You're the one from my dreams."
Yes.
Just been memed.
You don't want to hear that
into oblivion at this point.
That's good.
But yeah, he does that whole thing, and he now thinks, oh, this is the visions I've been seeing, and he's basically like, yeah, well, today's the day I die. That sucks. Oh well, God's given me strength. And then
I'm a little nervous. I've never died before.
And they're just kind of chill about you. They open the secret passageway, they leave, and they just leave you there with the secret passageway open.
You were in his dreams.
And yeah, you can just follow you follow them. I guess you're not a prisoner anymore, right? And they're just making their way through the sewers. And they're smuggling him out because...
And I like how they tell you, they specifically tell you, don't follow us, like the Blades do. Don't you dare follow us, guy.
So you follow him.
And then so you follow him. And then they're like, hey, we told you not to follow us. The Emperor's like, don't do shit to him, man. He's the
cool.
guy. I told you, he's cool.
He was in my dreams.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's cool. He's supposed to be here.
Yeah.
So, they're trying to smuggle him out because the Mythic Dawn cult has assassinated every heir to the Septim line. So all of Uriel Septim's sons, dead.
Oh.
There's no heir apparent anymore.
Right. And he needs one last time to get laid, to make an heir.
Well, he's 70, but he might have, But,
this is his last day on Earth. He knows that from the gift of prophecy. He's got to go out there and just really hit it, ensure his legacy.
So they're making their way, try to smuggle him out. But Mythic Dawn they're just on top of it. So they ambush him and manage to kill one of the Blades. And then they go further in. They're just like, damn, they're onto us. Basically, one of the guards, the Blades, dies. And they continue to haul you off, or the Emperor off. There's basically what you just said, Tony. Don't you follow us? And they lock the door behind them.
Yeah.
To introduce you to the lockpicking skill.
So
at this point in the tutorial,
you can't. You need a key. So naturally you loot the corpse of the Blade and you get her katana because they have katanas, of course.
Hell yeah. I'm a weeb and I will always defend putting katanas in things. It's a completely valid form of sword.
It's sick.
The Blades
it is sick.
Have a vaguely Japanese / Eastern Asian type of aesthetic. They're actually based off of the Akaviri invaders. The Sayesi. That's a whole thing though. Not important. Anyway, the wall opens up and you get attacked by some rats.
Classic.
And so now you gotta you're first adventure getting out of the sewers.
Smashing rats with rocks.
And yeah, you go along your way, you run into some rats, there's like a zombie, there's some goblins in there, nothing real big. You find some gear along the way, typical adventure, fantasy stuff. And then you meet back up with the Blades again and the Emperor, and he's just like, they're you again? Like, how did you get here? And the Emperor's
We
just
made
like,
you pinky swear you wouldn't follow
he's
us.
basically like, chill, he's with me. And then he does like a little divining for you to figure out what your star sign is. And then you pick with that, typical Elder Scrolls stuff. And then they get ambushed again. And the Mythic Dawn, they get all their asses. And they leave you, this guy who was just in prison, with the Emperor. And it's like, defend the Emperor! And you're just like, okay, sure.
Sure, yeah. I don't got much else going on.
Then the Emperor's just like, we don't have much time left. Like, take the Amulet of Kings. He just gives you that shit. He's just like, you must find Joffrey at Wayne Priory. Give him the amulet. Find my son, Martin. Like, you're just like, oh shit, you still have a son? He's just like, yes, no one knows about him but except Joffrey. It's like, you must get it to him. And then, little, sort of like a pseudo cutscene plays where you can't move.
Right.
You could totally stop this, but
right. This is well within your capabilities.
But limitations of game mechanics.
Right.
So they just Mythic Dawn. You just watch slowly as a Mythic Dawn guy comes out of the wall and just like and just stabs his ass.
Because you can body block him and he'll just keep auto running. I did that one time and I was like, I kept trying to hit him, but he's just invincible. You could not kill him.
Yeah, and so that just happens. That's scripted. Everyone dies. Oh no. Then the Blades come back and they're just like, oh, we failed. And then you talk to their head dude. He's just like, what did he say? What was his last words? And he's like, he gave me the Amulet of Kings and said I gotta go find Joffrey. And he's like, Joffrey?
Yeah.
He's like, really? He said that? And you're like, I don't know, man. I'm just telling you what he like.
Yeah, I'm just telling you what he told me, man. I don't know what's going on. Like, yeah.
He's like, all right, fine. I guess I'll have to trust you. Like, otherwise, like, you wouldn't know about Joffrey. He's the head of our order. And then you're just like, all right, sick. And he's like, well, we're gonna take care of the Emperor's body. Like, you go do that, vagrant, with the Amulet of Kings.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Now you take this nuclear warhead and you spirit it away.
Yeah, and they just send you on your way to fight your way the rest of the out of the sewers.
And don't put it on. It's very magic.
You can't.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
Bet you will blow up.
Amulet of Kings can only be worn by those of the dragon blood. Later, then they established that Dragonborn count too. It used to just be like the lineage of the dragon blood, which is the descendants of
Right.
Alicia, the first empress, and then her man-bull demigod husband, Mora House. That's a whole thing.
Yeah, the first emperor was a fucking minotaur or some shit.
Well, first emperor, but yeah, second ruler.
I mean, there's lizards who turn into trees and shit. Like, there's all kinds of crazy shit in this universe.
You're sort of. Trees made lizards into people.
What was I thinking?
Yeah. Let's not get crazy over here. Please, trees turning into lizards. Come on. Anyway, you make it out of the sewers, and you gotta go to Joffrey. He is a monk, just at some priory, and you take it to that. But dude said he was head of the Blades, so you're just like, oh shit, like okay.
Yeah, you must be a big deal.
So you show up, and it's just like, hey, the Emperor's dead, and he told me to come find you and give you the Amulet of Kings. And he's just like, what? I don't believe you. Give it to me. And then you give him the Amulet of Kings. He's like, oh shit, you're not lying. Like,
It appears to be really the Amulet of Kings.
yeah, he's like, well, fuck, we gotta go get Martin, his hidden son. And you're just like, he's got a hidden son? He's like, yeah, it was a bastard child, like that he gave to me to hide.
You
I've been
dog.
protecting him his whole life. He's now a priest of Akatosh in Kvatch. He's like, you gotta go find him.
And you should go get him.
Yeah.
God damn it.
It's like, well, the Emperor,
Yeah, dude.
the Emperor,
Quest chain.
the Emperor
Fuck
has made you the guy. So
Yeah.
you guy go do that. I gotta get stuff ready here. So we
There's
can
like a
protect him.
ton of paperwork I need to get ready for the inheritance and
Well,
whatnot.
you know, he's like head of the.
I'm
Blades.
really swamped here as head of the Blades and also sometimes a monk.
No, but imagine like you retired as a monk who's secretly protecting, the heir of, the emperor, like, and you that's just what you've been doing for a while, and he's just like, I I gotta get stuff ready, like, you know. And then, so you go to Kvatch.
All I'm saying is, in an identical situation, Obi-Wan was aboard the Millennium Falcon.
Obi-Wan wasn't the main character. Okay. So let's see. Then you go to Kvatch. Oh no, it's totally fucked. It's been destroyed. Daedra invasion.
Yup.
Because without an heir of the dragon blood wearing the Amulet of Kings and then lighting the dragon fires, the barrier between Mundus and Oblivion no longer exists. Daedra can invade now.
Oh.
Well, it's not like totally gone yet, but it's weakened, and so they can open Oblivion portals and come through. So there's just hell gates like that just open up.
Oh my goodness.
After you complete this mission, they just pop up like all over the map. But yeah, the city of Kvatch is destroyed. Oh no, Martin's in there. I gotta go get him. And then so you help the city guard go into the hell portal.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, and then you just go Doomslayer on them, and yeah, you destroy the hell portal by taking out the magic stone that anchors it, and then you go in, beat more demon ass to get Martin out of there, and once again you roll up to him, and he's just like, "You're the son of the Emperor. Like, I was sent to come get you." He's like, "I was raised on a farm. I'm a priest. What are you talking
What
about?"
do you mean?
Well, you got kidnapped to hell. Why do you think that
And he's
happened?
like, "Well, look, the Daedra came here and destroyed this entire city because of you. Why would I lie to you?" He's like, "God damn it, there's just something about you." He's just like, "All right, I'll
Did you
believe
put a lot of
you."
points
You
in
son of a
charisma?
bitch, I'm in.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's good.
And then you fight your way out. You save him, and you've saved the city because you got rid of all the Daedra. It's still fucking destroyed, but
Yeah.
you know, whatever. But now you're the hero of Kvatch. That's your title.
Hell yeah.
Hence the meme. Hence the meme.
Mm-hmm. So you go back to Wayne and Priory. Oh no, cultists found it. They're killing people.
Yeah.
Where's Joffrey? Where's
got-
Joffrey?
You got ambushed every step of the way on a supposedly secret spiriting away of the Emperor.
Yep.
I'm sure their information security was abysmal. They might have been there that day when you showed up, right behind you.
So you roll up to Joffrey, and he's killing some cultists, and then he's just like, "Oh no, I left the Amulet of Kings in a drawer, basically, in my
I left it in my other
in my
hands.
room, basically." He's like, "We gotta go see if it's still there." Spoiler: it's not.
Why would it?
Why
Yeah.
would it be?
No.
Cultists got it. They got away.
Yep.
Shit. Well, at least we have Martin. Like, there's hope as long as we have Martin.
Yeah.
So they
So he dies real soon.
They take him to Cloud Ruler Temple, which is the Blades Fortress up in like the mountains. Supposedly impregnable. You can hold it with just a couple of guys against like an army.
Right, like a protracted siege event in a video game.
Yeah, and then Martin is then thrust into the role of all hail the new heir of the Empire, and he's like, "Oh, well, shit, okay." Martin's really chill.
Yeah, he's a chill dude.
Sean Bean voiced him, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, our Emperor Sean Bean Martin.
So he's dead.
Uh-oh.
I was doing a bit.
From there, they're just like, well, you have to get the Amulet of Kings back. Like, the Mythic Dawn is led by this dickhead Mankar Cameron, and they serve the Prince of Destruction, Mehrunes Dagon, who's a Daedric prince. Mm-hmm. His whole thing is revolution / destruction, but the aspect of revolution that he is like just a revolution.
Right. It's not about the after for him.
Then,
it's about the
after that doesn't matter.
It's like a god of war also doesn't... They don't preside over peace, do they?
No, yeah. And
they just go to wars.
So that's his whole sphere. It's just like we destroy, we uproot the established... the status quo, and then whatever after.
And then next week we're going to do it again.
Yeah, wait till something else we can revolution against. So you have to try to infiltrate the Mythic Dawn. So you got to find their secret books, the commentaries on the Mysterium Xarxes, written by Mankar Cameron. There's 4 of them. So you got to get them all together. And once you got them all, you can decipher the hidden message that only the true believers can find out. But you do it like instantly. And you got to go to the Imperial City, and then there's an evil map that only shows up on a wall in a certain section of one of the
good.
districts at noon, and that tells you where their secret meeting place is for the cult. Just lights up with like evil red light.
And this is just on a random wall?
Apparently you can't see it because you have to have like it has to be like at a certain angle, like
Right.
exactly at noon.
Right.
That's the in-game explanation of why people aren't just like, "What's that evil map over there?" You know. But
I mean, even if a map did appear, like let's say you're sitting in the town square, and then from the reflection of the light that creates the evil map, you see it just like projecting on the wall. You wouldn't think, "I bet that's an evil map." You'd think, "Huh, that's weird."
Yeah.
well,
Then nothing ever again.
you know, whatever. But you get the map, you get the location, you go there.
Yeah.
If you've already played the game, I'm pretty sure you can just skip the map and just go straight there.
Right,
I might
'cause
be wrong on that.
It's more about the destination.
Yeah.
Than,
But you show up, and then there's, like a cultist, and you have a couple of options. You can just start murdering people if that's what you're about.
Right.
Like, you don't have to
Slayer.
you don't have to actually infiltrate.
Boom.
But you're posing as an initiate.
right.
And so he's just like, you must be here for the master's like sermon and whatever. And you're just like, you can just be, yeah, totally, dude. And then he's like, okay, well, here's your cultist robes, and then you're gonna have to give us all your armor and weapons. You get them back later, but they'll take it off you. The workaround to this, you just drop them all on the floor.
I'm going to interrupt for a second. I distinctly, you have just shot a memory back into my brain. Because I remember last episode I talked about how my cousin Todd showed me Oblivion, and that was my first game like that. That's like an RPG that's like immersive, you make choices and stuff. And I remember my first playthrough, I got to this point, and I stupid middle school Tony, went full Doomslayer. I see Red Hood kill.
And
I
just start
kill,
swinging.
And I started swinging, and it was rough, and I was like, okay, and then I ended up, I think I wasn't able to beat them, or something happened, and I had to go back, or I didn't save or something, I don't know. And then I ended up, like, rereading the quest or something to, like, figure out details. And I realized, I can try to infiltrate. And then I did. And then like, okay, give us all your weapons. And I was like, I have to give them. What do you mean, give you my weapons? And I was like, okay, I'll play a long game. And then so I do the whole thing, and I put on the uniform, and it's like, and I never had done that in a game before, and that really blew my mind as a little gremlin.
It's a fun little. It's supposed to make it so that if you do go full just murder man, that it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, the workaround of that. Drop all your shit on the ground, talk to him. He's like, all right.
Good to see you don't
pick
have
it
any
all
weapons
back up
on
and
you.
just put it right back on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know you could do that. That's awesome.
It only takes it out of your inventory, so if it's just around, they just ignore it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's very funny. So you can just go in there fully kitted out, and they're just like, welcome, initiate. And it's just like the JoJo's like, menacing.
Yeah.
Initiate, I'd like to talk to you about something
that's
called the
good.
spirit of the rules. we understand your love for the letter of the law, but the spirit of the rules don't exactly agree with your... Whatever, you're a new initiate, you'll learn.
So yeah, so you can just kill everyone. That's fine. It plays the same cutscene basically when you get to Mankar Cameron. Or you infiltrate. You can go through the whole thing. Although if you do try to go I want to just sneak my way out. They're gonna sacrifice an Argonian. And so it's just like, do the honors, brother. They give you a knife, and you have the option of, do I kill this guy right now? And you totally can. And
What happens if you do?
you kill his ass.
Yeah.
But
They sacrifice his soul to the devil. What do you think
Does
happens?
his soul get eaten or something? Or does he just die and it's sad?
You just
It depends on what
kill
you
him and
believe
you don't
in,
blow
I
your
suppose.
cover.
Yeah.
Oh man,
There's no consequences for you.
Yeah, that's sad.
Not directly, at least.
Poor guy.
Or you can be like, no, or you can pretend to do it, and then at the last minute you just because you're going after the actual book of Maiden's Dagon, the Mysterium Xarxes, which is what those commentaries were written about. And so you can just be like, oh no, I'm not gonna kill that guy, and then just grab the book and just try to book it.
Good.
Or you can just flat out,
Yoink.
you can just get his ass, and then everything still plays out basically the same, except no one aggroes, and then you can wait for everyone to leave, and then just go into sneak mode and grab it. And then if you did give them your shit, it's all in a chest, like in the corners. And
Right.
you just go get it and
Yeah, I
leave.
figured.
Or, you can just play along until then, and then when they do the sacrificing, you're just like, actually, no. And then if you do the little workaround, you just start slaughtering
Yeah, just
people.
start cutting people
Oh,
down.
man.
But no matter what you choose, Menkar Cameron does like a little speech to everyone. And then if you do reveal yourself, he's just like, "Bah, you can't catch me." By the way, he's wearing the Amulet of Kings, which is really weird.
Yeah, he should be dead if he's not the dragon blood, right?
So that's like a whole thing. I'll explain that in a little bit. Although there's a big joke in the community of that he just tied it together with a piece of string as a workaround.
That's a good bit.
But there's like an explanation that might make sense. There's a lot of speculation about how he did that. But regardless of what you choose, he fucks off into his demi-plane of Oblivion paradise that he calls paradise. So yeah, he's just gone. He just teleported away.
I'm going to
basically.
go wait this out in my condo in hell.
And now, regardless, he does that, and then you get the book. No
Right.
matter how and that was the goal.
No matter how you go about it, you get it.
You can save the Argonian if you want. It's kind of
Right.
hard, though, if you aggro everyone, because they'll just kill his ass.
Yeah.
If you're really dedicated, though, you can save him. You don't got to, though. But you get the book.
If you save him, he better become a companion or something.
No, he just gets the
We're
live.
blood brothers now.
He just runs away.
Coward. Come fight with me.
So
I'm a cat man.
You take the evil book to Martin Septim back at Cloud Ruler Temple, and Martin's got a bit of a past.
Right.
He's actually a really good character. So in his younger days, he fucked around with Daedra magic,
Oh, man.
and that didn't go too well. He had a bunch of friends. They had like a little cabal that they were doing all this in, and then everything backfired, and then he was the only survivor.
I feel like
And then after that, he became like an alcoholic, drug addict, and was just really fucked up for like a few years. And then one day, he just picked himself up and said, like, basically, I'm better than this. I can do better. I can help people. And he became a priest of Akatosh. And he's been just...
and he's been priestlin ever
Yeah, he's
since.
just been a good guy since then. But he knows Daedra stuff. And so he starts studying the evil book, the Mysterium Xarxes. And then after a little studying, you come back to him, and he's just like, okay, I think I figured out how to open up a portal to paradise. You need to get 4 items for me.
They love that.
And so the 4 artifacts that he requires is 1, a Daedric artifact. So any of these 16 like Daedric shrines you get shit from, any of those you can give to him.
Whichever one doesn't work for your build.
Yeah, which one you don't like,
Yeah.
just throw it away to him. And then he needs the Blood of the Divines. He's like, that one's going to be tough. That gods typically don't have blood, like, at least as far as I know. A great
I have a guess for that.
Welkin Stone, which, like I was saying last episode, the Aliads, that one race of elves, harnessed moon or starlight, and that's like basically what a Welkin Stone is. It's like solidified starlight.
Right.
So you need a super one of those, and then a great sigil stone, which sigil stone is the magical stones that anchor the hell portals in place. So
Right.
the Oblivion gates, they can't work without the sigil stone, and so there's like a super Oblivion gate that you gotta get one of these from, and that's how Kvatch was destroyed. They opened a super gate, and then a giant siege engine. The name of which I forget, came out and just plowed through the city. It's in the opening trailer. It's the huge, like giant colossal machine with the twisting, like, fire blades.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
front.
Sick nasty. Yeah.
It's like a big old drill, like,
Damn.
yeah. It's pretty cool.
We opened a portal to hell and they rolled a bulldozer through our building.
It was a great move.
Pretty good move.
It worked real good.
Got them. Yeah. Hero of Kvatch indeed.
Yeah.
So, you have to get all those items. Again, any Daedric artifact you want to do. Blood of the Divines, the way you get that is he's like, I got it. Tiber Septim ascended and became the 9th Divine as Talos. His armor is in Sancretor. You go there, you get his armor. It has blood on it. We'll use that, and then you go do that. It's like a whole thing. And,
Don't use all of it in case we need to do this again sometime.
You know. Then there's the Great Welkin Stone is just in some Alien rune. The Alien Empire used to be Cyrodiil. Humans took that from them. So Alien runes are just everywhere in Oblivion. And then the Great Sigil Stone is a whole thing. That's the last one you have to get. And it takes place on... they're attacking... The Mythic Dawn is attacking the city of Bruma. And the plan is, like, we know they're going to attack. We've warned Bruma. We've gathered allies. Or you don't have to, but that's a thing you can do.
Right.
Just get you more NPCs.
We've done all the side quests.
We need to let them open a great Oblivion gate. And they're just like, it's risky, but then as soon as they do, you're going to run in there and you're going to get it. And then we'll have the very last ingredient. And we'll save Broom at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's like a pretty cool thing you do. Martin, being just a Chad and a cool dude, like suits up in armor and is like, I'm gonna lead from the front because it's like these are my people. This is my responsibility.
Oh yeah.
And you're just like based, dude. Like
that's
fucking
goddamn.
Yeah, he's cool.
Marty, King Marty.
Hell
And then you have a bunch of like allies based on what you did, and then some of the NPCs you've become familiar with can die, and Martin can die.
Oh.
In the beginning of this quest, so you got to keep him alive. After you get in there, he becomes essential again, and he can't be killed.
Right.
But until you get in there in the Oblivion Gate, Martin can be killed, and then you fail. You got to reload.
God damn.
So they do it. The attack has begun. They open up the super gate, and you just run in there, and you're now on a timer. You have like 15 minutes, I think. And you like run past the giant bulldozer siege engine thing. And you're just like, oh fuck! And you got to run through hell real quick and grab the Great Stone. And no matter how fast you do it, when you come back, the engine is always like halfway through the portal already. So it's extra dramatic.
Yeah.
And then you close the portal and it like breaks
Destroys
it,
it.
cuts it in
Yeah.
half. Yeah, you know.
That's good.
And
I
then
like that.
Everyone's just like,
Yeah.
like we did it.
And now we have a new thing to leave on the map to show you that you completed this part of the main storyline.
Yeah. And so they go back to Cloud Ruler Temple. They do the ritual. Martin opens the portal to Paradise. Gaia Lata. And you go there, and so it's called Paradise because
Because he loves fire.
So it's a demi-plane. It actually looks really nice. It's very like scenic, very, very, like Elysian type deal.
I like that. I was thinking Elysium because Oblivion's supposed to be hell, but like Hades has like multiple layers. Yeah.
The thing that ruins it is all the Daedra.
Yeah,
Right.
I bet.
And why
ruin
it was
everything.
promised to be paradise because the Mythic Dawn cultists were told, in paradise you will be immortal. And you are. So the Daedra can just killing you over and over again.
Oh.
Turns out paradise kind of sucks.
Damn.
Why would you think that we had sectioned off a part of hell to make it anything but still hell?
So yeah, the Daedra are they just kill people like indiscriminately pretty much. And there's not really much they can do about it.
Yeah.
So you got to work your way through, and then certain cultists will help you because they're just like, I hate this. I just want to die. Like
Bad investment. I'm willing to renege. Let's
So
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's what you get for following an evil cult.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
a comeuppance.
and-
Sucks to suck.
yeah.
so
But if he's willing to help, like, take the fucking opportunity. This guy.
you learn that you need to get to like the inner part of it, the realm. Basically, you have to have the certain item called the Bands of the Chosen. And so you got to convince a Dremora basically to. I think you just beat his ass, and he's just like, okay,
Pretty
all right.
convincing stuff.
Like, or you do something for him, I forget, and he gives you the bands, and then you can
Convince
get
the shit out
further
of him.
in. Now you got to get the bands off though, because that basically makes you like subject to Mankar Cameron's power within this demiplane. And then one of the cultist souls helps you do that, basically to get you to get off of it, because you promise like you're gonna kill him, like please, and yeah. And he's just like, yeah, I'm here to kill Mankar Cameron. That's what I'm doing. He's just like, all right. Like, that's all you had to say. And he helps you get him off. And then you confront Mankar Cameron, who it's this whole long drawn out scene of you're making your way through his like palace, and he's just talking to you like through like, you know, magical like speaker basically. And he's just going on this long diatribe about how like you're blind, and then he's just like how all your false gods have lied to you, and that the Mundus is actually the secret Daedric plane of Lorkhan. He's like, you idiot.
Oh man.
And he makes like interesting points, which like some may have some validity. But basically, he's just an occultist ranting at you, like, you know.
Right. As compelling as he may or may not be, he's definitely like a bad guy.
Yeah, and then he is a powerful mage.
Right.
That is like abundantly clear. And so I'll explain him really quick. Is Mankar Cameron, not much is known, or nothing definitive really is known about him, but the name Cameron would suggest he's from a lineage of Bosner or Wood Elves. One of which from the Bosner Kingdom tried to take over the Empire. So it was the Mankar Cameron Usurper. And it's implied that Mankar is descended from him, but that wouldn't make any sense because in the game he's an Altmer. But so Mehrunes Dagon's Daedric artifact is the Mehrunes Razor, which can cut anything,
Right.
possibly. So in his commentaries, he suggests that he managed to, with the Razor, change his Neo and Protonymics, which...
Going all the way back to the first lore dump.
Yes.
It's true name stuff,
which
right?
True name stuff, yes.
Yeah.
And so, like, by slicing off bits of his true name, like, he managed to change himself.
Right.
Maybe. It's not confirmed that this is exactly what happened, but it's the most reasonable explanation.
Right.
And this also would suggest maybe he also found a way to make himself Dragonborn. Because there's a line specifically everyone points to, even though, like, at this point, shouts aren't really, like, established as being a Dragonborn thing, but he describes at one point, like, and then I spoke fire. And people say that, like, oh, he gained shouts. That's what that means. Maybe that would be something that they would have added from Skyrim, like, in hindsight, you know? But regardless, he somehow changed himself, and he can wear the Amulet of Kings, and then he may have cut off bits of his soul to make his two children. Maybe. But...
There's a much more fun way to go about it.
You know, he's a cultist. You know. But...
Man with a hammer.
Yeah.
He... After he's done talking to you, makes it to his throne room, and he just keeps talking shit, and you just kill his ass. Like, you can do it. He is kind of a hard fight if you're not ready for it.
Right.
But if you're, like, high enough level, like, you got, like, good magic protection, he's not that bad. But he is, like, a pretty good mage. But, yeah, you kill them. Kill his two kids, too.
Sure.
Oh, man.
Which, the kids is funny. It's because if you kill them, they come back.
Oh.
Because he's the anchor, they're not. And so they're immortal here.
Right.
And so a fun thing you can do is farm them for items.
Real, that's funny.
Like the son drops, I think it's a mage's ring. Which
Are
is
these
like, a
like
really good
adult
item.
children, or
Yes.
okay, that's good. I was picturing more of like
No. There's no children in Oblivion.
Yeah.
They weren't
Two
that far
youths
ahead.
that you stab them, they fall down, they evaporate, they respawn in front of you,
Evil
you
baby.
stab them.
Sometimes you gotta kill the evil baby, but I'm glad it's not one of those situations.
Yeah, that's
Plus, they might have been horrible, like soul homunculi.
they might not have been
Who
people at
knows?
all. Yeah.
But regardless, you get his ass. You take the Amulet of Kings. Paradise is now destroyed. Everyone who was in there is set free. And you come back. You got the amulet. You go and you give it to Martin. Puts it on.
King Marty.
He is, in fact, a descendant of Uriel Septim. He's dragon blooded. They're just like, fuck yeah, let's go to the capital, the Imperial City. We're gonna light those dragon fires. He's like, but before that, we should make this legal, says Martin. He wants to be officially recognized by the Elder Council. because he thinks it's proper,
Right.
like due process, basically.
Yeah.
And then seemingly we've won at this point.
Right.
And so you go to do that.
Everything else should just be a victory lap.
Yeah. Except once you get there, and then the Elder Council starts to meet with you, last-ditch Daedra invasion. The cult has opened as many Oblivion gates as they possibly can to invade the Imperial City. Oh no, the last vestiges of the barrier between Mundus and Oblivion are fading away. Mehrunes Dagon is here in the flesh.
Oh, man.
And so, yeah, you're like, oh, fuck. What do we do about this? The streets are swarming with Daedra. Use your imagination. The game engine of Oblivion was very limited. So when I say swarming, there's Daedra about. But in canon, it's a swarm with Daedra.
Yeah.
And then
There's 3 or 4 in the streets you can see, but trust me, just on the other side of the buildings, there are a lot more.
And then Mehrunes Dagon is kaiju size.
Oh.
Gigantic, just stomping and smashing about.
Like a big Galactus type guy?
Yeah, he's a
sick.
He's a giant 4-armed red demon man. Like he looks like a Satan.
Oh man.
And yeah, and he's got like weapons and like each hand basically, and he's just smashing about, like stomping, doing everything. And you're like, well, Martin, I guess we got to get you out of here. And he's like, wait, I might be able to fix this. He's like, you got to get me to the Temple of the One where we light the dragon fires. I have an idea. You're like,
sure.
I mean, that's a god, but all right, all in, I guess.
Questex hasn't led me wrong yet.
Yeah. And so you make it to the Temple of the One. Mehrunes can spot you and try to attack you.
Hey, stop that!
Yeah, he will try to kill Martin. You got to keep Martin alive.
Right.
But when you make it to the Temple of the One, Martin then, being the awesome guy he is, thanks you for all you've done, and is like you're like a real hero of like the Empire, and like you saved everyone. Like
I'm sensing
a narrative shift. Thank you for like saving me and all that. Doing all that. He's just like basically goodbye, friend, and then goes to the altar, smashes the Amulet of Kings, and becomes an avatar of Akatosh, the Time Dragon God. He becomes a giant flaming dragon, and he and Mehrunes Dagon have a kaiju fight for a second.
That's so sick!
Until he bites his throat out, and Mehrunes is banished. And then he does like a triumphant roar into the sky, and then it becomes a statue atop the altar of the One.
Sean Bean, I knew it would happen, but I didn't know it would happen no one could have guessed it would happen like this.
And with Martin's ultimate sacrifice and becoming that statue, he permanently sealed the barrier between Mundus and Oblivion. So they no longer need the Amulet of Kings, no longer need the Dragon's Fires.
Okay.
He did it.
No more. That's a pretty good ending to be like, you know what? He had to sacrifice himself, ending the royal line. Potentially, depending on your interpretation of prophecy, potentially dooming us, but people can't just show up from hell anymore.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's ways, Daedra can get in, but it's you can't go around opening...
You can't open a
Oblivion
Stargate
gates
anymore, yeah.
Yeah, a wizard could summon one through conjuration magic.
Yeah.
That's one of the things you do.
I mean, every interpretation of a story where there's demons that come from the other side, we're gonna have the odd exorcist demon, but certainly we're not gonna have a big doomslayer portal to hell, a swarm with imps and serpents and shit anymore. That's a pretty good deal. I'd sacrifice having to do a bunch of Insidious movies as opposed to just every weekend we have to have a Doomslayer fight.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, portals can be open, but you can't. Cult can't be opening dozens.
Yeah.
So that's the main story. There's 2 DLCs. Knights of the Nine, where you recover the artifacts of my boy Pelinil, Whitestrake, the Divine Crusader. And you got to stop the return of Umarel the Unfeathered, who is one of the Ayleid sorcerer kings, except he was also a demigod, which is how he's able to come back. He has a pact with Meridia, the Daedric Prince of Light. And yeah, you got to stop that. It's really short. Basically, you just go get all the artifacts, and then you get his ass.
Right.
There's a lot of cool lore with that, but I want to I want that to be its own segment. I want, like, talking about Pelinil and Umaril to be, like, when I actually, like, have a chance to just lore dump.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, like, you go, you get the artifact, you kill his ass, using the final gift from the 9th Divine that now exists, because he didn't before.
Right.
The first time Umaril was a problem. You cast the Blessing of Talos, and you follow his ass into hell, and kill him again, and then he's banished forever.
You thought, oh my goodness.
Because his pact...
I used the power of the 9th Divine, and he's like, 8 Divines! And he's like, sorry.
Not anymore, bitch.
This is DLC.
And yeah, you get his ass, and then like he can't come back anymore. Get fucked, guy. And then the other DLC is the fan favorite, the Shivering Isles, where you go to. There's a portal that opened up down in one of the bay areas, and it's giant, like 3-headed, like mouth statue.
Ooh.
Looks real weird, and a voice basically talks out of it to you, and it's just like, "Why don't you come on in?"
Oh man, like Aladdin.
You can do that, and then you get transported to...
It's pretty cool in here.
The Shivering Isles, which is the realm of Sheogorath, the god of the Daedric Prince of Madness.
Oh.
And he was inviting mortals to come here to be a champion.
Right.
And then you're like, okay.
Yeah, I don't got a lot
guess I'll be
going
a
on.
champion.
Yeah.
Why not?
I heroed Kvatch. I fought a Galactus.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I already helped beat one god. What's
Yeah.
another? So you do a bunch of things for him. Everyone loves Sheogorath because he's silly and he says a bunch of funny stuff. He also says a lot of dark shit, but he oscillates between the two. The Shivering Isles is really fun. It's very colorful and weird. It's split into 2 different halves, Dementia and Mania. Mania is very bright and colorful, and then Dementia is very drab and like depressing.
Yeah.
So you do a bunch of stuff for Sheogorath, and you're not sure.
Run a bunch of quests in a new zone. Pretty
you're
cool.
not exactly sure why at first, until he then explains that. So this other Daedric prince, Jigalag,
funny name,
who is the Daedric Prince of Order, at the end of every age, he shows up with what's called the Grey March, and he destroys my land, and to be an asshole, basically. So I'm trying to stop it.
Right.
So you need to do all these things for me. So you're doing all the things for him. And then it only come to find out, the big reveal at the end, is that Sheogorath is Jigalag. So Jigalag, originally the Daedric Prince of Order, became so powerful in the Dawn times, basically, that the other princes were scared of him and then banded together and cursed him with madness.
Oh.
And he became Sheogorath.
Oh, that's pretty sick, actually.
Pretty
really
cool,
like
right?
that. Yeah.
It's a big reveal.
Because Order is like, that's one of the big concepts, like, that's one of the duality concepts where everything is either that or its opposite.
Mm-hmm. And then what the Grey March is, at the end of every age, he transforms back into Jigalag, destroys the Shivering Isles, and once he's conquered all of it...
What's all this insane shit doing here? And getting rid of it.
He transforms back into Sheogorath, and then the cycle repeats.
Yeah.
So, Sheogorath is trying to get you to become the new Sheogorath, so he can stop this cycle. He wants to save the Shivering Isles.
Right.
But time runs out, and then Sheogorath turns into Jigalag and basically just poofs away. But basically the last few quests, it's not too late. I can still become the new Sheogorath. It's called mantling, when you mantle an entity. Technically, this is the same thing that Nerevarine did. He mantled Indoril Nerevar.
Yeah.
Mantling is described as basically when you move so identically and become so identical to a entity, the universe recognizes you as that entity. You become them, functionally.
Right.
And so what you have to do to finish the process is you got to make a new staff of Sheogorath, the Staff of Madness. This is the very last quest you got to do. You do it. You mantle madness, like the power of the Daedric Prince of Madness. And you confront Jigalag. You 1v1 a Daedric Prince.
Oh, man.
And yeah, you get his ass. And at the end, he's just like, all right, you win. Whatever. I'll fuck off. Like, this is actually pretty sweet. Like, I'm now released from the curse of madness.
Yeah.
He's just like, and you, I'm not quite sure what you are.
Employed.
Maybe a god. He's like, anyway, peace out, dude. I'm gonna go do my own thing. And he's like, have fun in the Shivering Isles, I guess.
Yeah.
And congratulations, you are the new Sheogorath. You are the Lord of Madness. The Shivering Isles are yours.
That's awesome.
And that is
So you just become one of the gods. Credits roll.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, you continue playing.
Well,
And
yeah.
The Mantle
obviously.
of Madness effect is like, it's a cute little in-game thing where up in the corner, like, it'll be like, you feel like you want to eat some cheese or some dumb little... silly
Little flavor
things.
text things. Yeah.
That's Oblivion, pretty much the whole package. Like, very quickly summed up.
Right.
Pretty cool.
It's very fun. It's my favorite. There aren't as many, like, Easter egg things as there are in Morrowind. They still have, you know, some fun things in there, but it's just not quite as many. And then there's also lots of, like, you know, silly... Oblivion is, like, notorious for being very glitchy. There's tons of little things you can do.
I know about the conjure weapon, and then you repair them, and then they're permanent.
Bound weapons.
Yeah.
If you swing them and damage them, and you repair them, you can then drop them, and then you wait for the timer for the conjuration spell to go out,
Right.
and you can just pick it back up, and now it's permanent.
Ooh.
They're very good. They're pretty high quality weapons, and they're weightless, which is really nice. You can do the same thing with the armor set too, the bound armor set.
Is Oblivion the one that has the stupid curly head idiot guy who's just your biggest fan following
The
you?
adoring fan.
Yeah, that's the hero Gavach. Like that's,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying with the memes. Yeah.
Well,
Yes, the hero Gavach.
Well, he becomes your adoring fan because you become the champion of the arena.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Is this an actual arena or merely a metaphorical arena?
No, it's like a Coliseum.
Okay. I've been burned before thinking about actual arenas when something in this universe calls something an arena.
Wait, does someone keep calling you the hero of Gavach specifically?
Everyone does.
Oh, everyone. Okay, then that's what the meme is. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it was the adoring fan.
you
for
walk
some
by,
reason.
and
sure he
people are
does.
just like, oh, "You're the hero of Kvatch, aren't you?
Oh, there
it's such
you
an
go.
honor to meet you."
There you go.
And then you don't really like have an option to talk back. It's just
Yeah.
sort of like, yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty.
drink it in.
Yeah.
I'm a cat. Or a lizard.
Yeah, that's pretty much Oblivion. I would love to get into like Pelinal Whitestrake. He's my favorite character. But I want to do that. I want that to be its own thing later on down the line. So hopefully I can get through Skyrim in a little bit faster. Skyrim, everyone's favorite.
Everyone knows how Skyrim.
Yes, I don't think I'm breaking any
So
ground.
you're finally awake.
Hey,
I
ding-a-ding-a-durga.
Yeah, I feel like I can be really brief with Skyrim and it'll be fine.
People know the broad strokes.
Yeah, like everyone's. If you've played an Elder Scrolls game, like chances are you've played Skyrim,
Yeah.
or even if you're not into it, maybe you played
Skyrim's
a
the
little bit of Skyrim.
most released game on here.
It's
They've released
Yeah.
that game as many times as other games have even gotten like DLCs.
yeah. Thank God for the fishing ad they put in there.
Oh yeah, important.
You know, for the
That's worth
anniversary
$60
edition, or
more
whatever the fuck it was. But anyway, Skyrim came out in November of 2011.
Oh my goodness.
Takes place in Surprise Skyrim. Once again, you are a prisoner.
Finally awake.
Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, you have been wrongly convicted, and they're just going to execute you anyway.
Yep.
They thought that you were trying to cross the border, I think.
Yeah.
And you were just near the border.
Yeah, because you're not on the list of executions, and they're just like, "Fuck it, dude, cut his head off."
And it's like, well, we've already got this. Set
I've got to
up,
get
so-
my steps in.
But luckily, whilst you're about to have your head cut off, a giant black dragon shows up and starts fucking everybody up. Starts breathing fire and shit. And you're in the confusion. You just run away.
You just fuck off, yeah.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't wait around to see if... Are you guys good? Still good to chop my head off?
I think one of my favorite parts about that intro was how there's Rayloff and then Hadvar, and like at the end of the little gauntlet you have to do to get away from the dragon, they're just talking shit to each other. But both are like, "Prisoner, come with me," and he's like, "No, that guy's a cuck. Come with me." And then whichever door you choose, that's like the faction you can start the quest with. You don't have to. You don't have to. You're not locked in. But yeah, if you go with Hadvar, he's like, "I'm an Imperial soldier. I'm just a local boy who's trying to do right with my country." And then you can go hang out with him. and he kind of like redeems you in the Imperial eyes. Or you go with Rayloff, and he's like, fuck these Imperial bastards, Viva the Revolution, like, we're gonna overthrow them, and you're like, oh, yeah, where my country gone?
Yeah, he's part of the Stormcloaks.
Yeah, the Stormcloaks.
Which is one of those side plots, there's the Skyrim Civil War that's going on, where basically the Stormcloaks are pissed that Talos worship is being banned by
Which is a
elves.
legitimate, like, it's funny because typically... like, the ultra-conservative, like, where my country gone mentality will make my lip curl. But, like, oh, we're fighting religious persecution? Okay, yeah, get the fucking Empire out of here, dude. Like, if that's truly what you're fighting for, they are going to ban our belief, our faith, that one of our boys became a god. They're just going to say that didn't fucking happen. And we all know what fucking happened. Yeah, fuck these people. Get your fucking axes and cleave some elf skulls, bro.
Yeah, it's because the Mary Dominion is, or no, the Thalmor? I forget.
Thalmor.
The Thalmor,
Yeah.
I forget what their government thing is called.
I think it is the Dominion. I think the Dominion, like the Thalmor are like agents of the Dominion, aren't they? I actually don't know this. That's because I was under the impression that was the case.
I think so. I get mixed up. But regardless, they've basically have a lot of sway over the Empire now, because the Empire's not doing too great.
They lost the war against the elves, right?
So they lost a very significant battle, and so now it's like they've got way less like weight to throw around.
Okay.
And the elves, the Altmer are on the up and up. So that's why like they have like a big presence there, and they're like they do a lot of shady shit. But that's not it's part of the main story, but it's not like the main focus. So come to find out. Once you've escaped and gone to that little town, I forget, River Run or something?
Yeah. Whiterun? Riverfell?
No. River something.
River Run sounds right. Whiterun sounds right.
And a dragon flies over, another one.
Not Riften.
You're very popular.
I forget. I don't know.
Yeah.
You see that, and then they're just like, oh, dragon, that's crazy. You must tell the Jarl guy.
Go tell the president.
Yeah, once again,
he'll want to
they're
know.
just recruiting some dude they just met. And
prison escapee, huh? You'll want to meet the king.
So you go, and you warn the Jarl, and then he's just like, oh, dragons, huh? Like, my court wizard's actually been like looking into dragons. Like, go talk to him. You go talk to the weird wizard man.
Was his name Falcor, was it? Falcor?
I think so.
Falcor.
And he sends you to Bleak Falls Barrow, where he wants you to get an artifact, and then just so happens that there's a word wall there where shouts are recorded.
Oh.
And after you kill the Draugr, lord that pops out of its coffin to attack you, you slurp up that shout, and I've got special powers on the main character.
Now you can use dragon shouts.
Yeah, come to find out your
Fuzzroda, right, guys?
got-
Remember 2011?
you got something to do with this dragon stuff, and then you go back talk to the Jarl. You give the mage the thing, and then it's like a dragon's been sighted. And he's like, random guy, go help them.
Well, I've got this escaped death row convict right here who's been handling most of my more sensitive duties. He should be.
You have a trustworthy face.
And you go, you help.
You're like a cat or a dark elf or something.
The guard is like talking shit, but after you beat the dragon, and then you slurp up its soul, and they're like, you're dragonborn, and they start losing their shit, and you're just like, I don't know what that is.
I'm just the guy. Yeah.
I'm just here, man. So, oh my god, you're dragonborn. Everyone freaks out about that. You go back to the Jarl, and then the Greybeards, the Masters of the Voice, who live up on the big old mountain, High Rothgar, they shout to you. It's basically just like a big that shakes everything. But it's them just saying like, hey, main character, get up here.
Power word didgeridoo.
Yeah. A little bit. And then, so the Jarl's like, oh man, That's the Greybeards. Like, they've summoned you. Like, you gotta go up there.
That's classic Greybeards. They shake the whole building. That means that they want a death row inmate whom I've trusted implicitly for the wrong reasons. Go on up there. They'll probably have some secret stuff that I'm probably not even allowed to know about. You're the most trustworthy man in all of Skyrim. Get up there, boy.
So, you go up the mountain, and then famously, this is where a lot of I don't remember ever having a problem with it, but this is where a lot of people encounter the notorious Frost Troll, who's up there, and apparently he just whoops a lot of new players' asses. Like, they're just not ready to fight that Frost Troll.
He's beefy.
I guess. I don't remember ever struggling with it, but, whatever. I'm a nerd and played these games a lot, so. But you go up there, you kick that troll's ass, you make it all the way to the top, and you meet with the Greybeards. And you talk to Master Arngir, and then he asks you, like, prove you can shout. You shout. Then they teach you a shout, and they're like, whoa, you're not supposed to be able to learn that fast. That's dope. You're a Dragonborn, obviously. But then they send you to go get this artifact.
We've seen this before. You're a chosen one.
Yeah.
Better send you into danger.
The horn of Jurgen Wind. It's what everyone
The
knows.
horn of
They're just
Jurgen.
Yeah. Jurgen Windcaller. So you go to the dungeon they tell you to go. It's full of spiders. You kill all the giant fucking spiders. And then you find a note where the horn is supposed to be. And it's just like, Dragonborn, like, I have the horn. Like, come to this location. And you're like...
How did he get around the spiders?
Yeah, it's like, well, fuck, okay. Like, so you you go and it's to, like, an inn. And it says to...
Couldn't you have left the note on the front of the cave?
Yeah, it tells you to rent a specific room.
Right.
And so you go to the lady who's there, Delphine. And you're like, hey, can I rent this room? And she's like, well, actually, like, that room is taken. You can have the one next to it, though. You're like, all right, whatever. And you go to the room, and you wait in there. And then she comes up, and she's like, actually, I was testing you. Like, I left the note. You're like, okay.
Neat.
She's like, my organization needs someone of your skills, guy. Who is
Well, I can only be
just became
recruited so
Dragonborn.
many times in a row.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm on a quest sent by a guy to be sent on a quest to be sent by a guy to be sent on a quest. I can't then also be sent on another quest to be sent by a separate guy. This is too many.
And yet, here we are.
Yeah.
So she gives you the horn, and she's like, basically, follow me. And you're like, alright, okay, I guess. You gave me the horn, so I guess you're chill. And you go with her, you're just following her to another dungeon, basically. And then on the way, it's Alduin again, the big black dragon, and he starts talking to you, and he basically starts talking shit.
I love it.
He at first says it in dragon language, the shout language,
Right.
and then you're like, I don't know what you're saying. He's just like, you don't even speak our tongue. He's like, pathetic. Like, and they call you Dragonborn. Like,
I just found out this weekend.
You're
I'm
like-
learning.
I remember that scene because he shows up and he resurrects one of the dragons.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see him just do it, and that's why they're immortal.
Oh.
Because unless you suck out their souls, if you kill one, he'll just go and necromance them back, and they're just up again and being a dragon, doing whatever the fuck they want.
Right.
And he's waking all them up. That's why there's bones in graveyards, and he's just waking them up from the graveyards.
Mm-hmm.
And so he wakes one of them up, and they're talking in dragon speech, and I don't think you can understand what they're saying. But you can definitely tell, like, they're basically cracking jokes about you. Like, he's like, he might as well say, oh, Alduin, thanks for waking me up, bro. And he's like, I got you, homie. Look at this stupid little fuck who thinks he can oppose us. And they have a little chuckle about it, and then you have to fight that dragon again. Yeah, it's a cool little bit. I like it.
Alduin basically tells him, like, kill this peasant.
Oh, you can't understand him? Okay, I forgot. Okay.
Well, no, but people have to, like, translate it.
Oh, so you can that's what it was. I remember someone translated it. Yeah, cool. That's cool.
That's like a fan translated it, or
Pretty sure.
oh my goodness, that's incredible.
I don't
Yeah,
think there's...
because it's established. Yeah, they're just
Right, it's
talking
a language,
Shit. Yeah, they're
yeah.
talking shit to you. Yeah, it's awesome. Like, it's a good little bit.
And yeah, and then Alduin just fucks off, and then you fight that dragon, and then you get his ass, though.
Yeah.
And then you succulate him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone forever.
Got another
now.
soul.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Shit.
A fine amount of dragons with you around.
Yeah. And so then...
I guess that covers why they respawn in the overworld if you just beat them up regular.
When you beat them up, you always suck up their souls. the reason they're alive at all is because all the dragons were dead, and then Alduin,
Right.
basically, yeah, spoilers, but yeah, he revives all the dragons, and so yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you just suck out that soul, baby.
Because some of them will spawn procedurally generated style, but a lot
Right.
of them are in fixed locations, and then you kill them, and then that's it. Yeah, you've circulated their soul, they're gone.
Now, the ones that have names are scripted,
Right.
and then there's other ones that just show up. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's like Elder Dragon. Or
Nick had a glitch in his game where anytime one of the guards mentioned a dragon, one would spawn. So like one of like the side like bits is the guy being like, "I hope I don't see any dragons."
That's pretty good.
They're looking. Oh, the fucking song.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Instantly, yeah, very good.
So after you take care of that that other dragon, Delphine lets you in on what's going on. She says, "I'm one of the last remaining blades. We're almost like an extinct order, and we're like undercover basically, and we need to. I think those dirty elves are the reason the dragons came back." And you're like, "Okay, so what do you?
What?
Yeah, what do you want me to do about it?" And then she recruits you to heist the Elven embassy. And so that's your job, is you got to infiltrate the Elven embassy to see if you can find any information on if they're responsible for the dragons coming back. So you do that. You have a couple different ways you can do it. Basically, you just cause a big distraction. You have a man on the inside. He's a Bosmer. And he helps you do that. And you snoop around and you save another member of the Blades that they've been interrogating. They're just like beating the shit out of him. And you can also find like other little bits of information. Ultimately, it leads to the conclusion of that the elves are shitheads, but no, they didn't do the dragons. They're taking advantage of the dragons. Like
They would have if they could have, but they didn't.
But no, that wasn't them. And mostly this just moves along the plot of the Stormcloaks and the Imperials.
Yeah.
Because the elves are manipulating that too. So yeah, she's surprised at like, oh, they didn't. Okay, well, shit. So they gotta figure out what's going on with that.
Because people were something about the Jarl that is rebelling being able to shout. That was one of the reasons they thought dragons were involved, if I remember correctly. Maybe not Delphine, but like that was like that. Maybe I'm thinking.
No, it's Skyrim. Earlier games actually established that shouting is a Nord thing.
Mm-hmm.
Skyrim established that it's also a Dragonborn thing, like actually, and then that's trickle down basically magic. That's how Nords got it.
Yeah.
Was from dragons.
Which is to explain why you, potentially a cat, are doing it.
Yeah.
Even though you're not ethnically of the group that can generally do that.
Well, anyone can learn to shout. It's just really hard if you're not a Dragonborn.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
because as I was saying, I think Ulfric has like he can shout.
Yeah. If you're just like a regular dude and you can shout and like you're pretty good at it, you're a big deal. The thing with Dragonborns is you just learn that shit like instantly.
Yeah.
Which is what makes you especially powerful.
Right.
And you can succulate dragon souls. Regular people can't do that. Then you got to go find this other blade, Esbern, and she gives you like a password so he knows you're chill, and then he's just like, "Oh, great! I've been studying this whole Alduin thing," and he explains to you Alduin is bad. He's known as the World Eater.
So he's clearly not on our team.
Yeah, he's not chill at all. Although it's weird because so after you got to go to Skyhaven Temple, basically Cloud Ruler Temple Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. And this is a Blades temple. And there is a prophetic wall that basically depicts all the events of the games. So like the prophecy is that like it references earlier games, like has shit like when the thrice blessed fall from grace, the tribunal, when the brass tower walks, the new medium, that's the second game, or even earlier with Typer Septim and all that, and then like it just mentions all the other games, and then says that Alduin will return, and then like in the last Dragonborn also will show up, pretty much. So you are fated to combat Alduin. Now, what's weird about this is that Alduin's job as the World Eater is he's supposed to end the world.
Right.
That's his role as like a divine entity.
Right. He's supposed to do that.
Yes, and that's like not a bad thing because something else about Elder Scrolls cosmology has Kalpa cycles, which are the universe ends and then restarts.
Right.
And this is borrowed from like RL, like Hinduism.
Yeah.
Like Kalpas is essentially the exact same thing. And Alduin's job is to end the Kalpa.
Right.
He didn't do that. Last time he showed up, he said, actually, instead of eating the world, why don't I just rule it?
Pretty good, pretty good trade for old Alduin.
And he established pretty much that dragons are in charge. Like, get over it. And so there was a huge dragon cult in Skyrim. Like, they worship the dragons. Like, they pretty much were enslaved to them. That's why you find, like, dragon priests, like, throughout, and the Draugr ruins. Those are all dragon cultists. And then Alduin's at the top. But you then have to go back to learn the rest of the story from the Greybeards. And then pretty much convince them, like, you gotta, let me in on the rest of it, pretty much. Alduin's Wall, like, I know the rest of the shit now. And you gotta convince them to let you meet with the leader of the Greybeards. And so they finally relent and tell you he's at the top of the mountain. Like, we'll shout the blizzard away, and you go up there and you talk to him. They do that, you go up there. Their leader's a dragon. His name is Parthenax.
Parthenax is a really cool name.
He's pretty sick. He used to be a lieutenant of Alduin's, and then he wasn't chill with the whole dominate the mortals plan.
Right.
And so he betrayed Alduin, and this is where they shift the lore a little bit, where shouts were always a Nord thing in whenever it was established, I think in Morrowind. But now they've changed it. This is where it gets established, because originally it was supposed to be their goddess Kyne that taught them how to shout. No. Kyne instructed Parthenax to teach them how to shout. So technically old lore still counts.
Right.
It's just this added detail that they kept Parthenax secret, because he's one of the last dragons that were alive. Or possibly the last. And so he's just...
Do you have anything to do with it?
He's been chilling on the mountain, and specifically he's guarding the thing that he then shows you, which is a time wound. Where several thousand years ago, 3 Nord heroes confronted Alduin up here on the top of the mountain. And they were using an ancient shout that you need to learn. This is also the reason you go, and then like you got to go get an Elder Scroll so you can see the vision of them through the time wound of them doing that. So he explains that they using an Elder Scroll sent Alduin into the future.
They didn't beat his ass.
They didn't kill him. They couldn't
deal with it later.
They couldn't defeat him. They just made him go away.
They just sent him into a future where the world is Aku.
Yeah.
So the beginning of the game is him being like, okay.
Yeah, for him it's been like...
That's why he's just tearing ass at the beginning of the game, because he just showed up.
And then he just starts resurrecting all his homies. Yeah, business as usual.
That's sick.
It's a great premise, yeah.
They just yeeted him into the future and said, well, they'll figure it out, I guess.
We'll have so much more time, I'm sure someone will figure out how to do this.
Yeah. So then you got to go on a quest to find an Elder Scroll so you can see that whole thing take place. So, Septimus Sigmus is this wacky elf guy who is obsessed with Dwemer and apparently knows a lot about the Elder Scrolls. So, you go find him, and he gives you an artifact so you can get into the Dwemer rune of Blackreach, which is a fan favorite of the series of like areas. It's like the big rune in the game. And because he tells you that the Dwemer, being the Dwemer, those sciencey bastards and masters of magic, they constructed devices that let them read Elder Scrolls without going blind or going insane. Because they just figure out loopholes for everything.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
They built a Gundam in order to conquer the world. I'm pretty sure they figured out how to read the magical scrolls.
Mm-hmm. So you go to he gives you another artifact too. That'll let you basically use the device. Mm. So you got to fight your way through Blackreach. It's a whole big thing. People love it. I was whatever about it. I was more interested in the Elder Scrolls reader thing. I thought that was the coolest part. And it's like a little mini puzzle. It's not that hard to figure out. You just align the shit in a different way, and you, using the thing he gave you, you just slot it in, and it focuses like the light beams. Because it's like an observatory almost that like uses the light from the top like dome and like focuses it, and then it projects like a basically like a projector. I'm losing my words here, but like
sort of like a planetarium, sort of.
Yeah, and it just shows it all like the light all over the floor, and you can like then interpret that as what the information from the Elder Scroll.
Right.
But you're here to just turn the thing on, get it to like give the canister to come down. Elder Scroll's in there. Boom! You pluck that shit out. Good to go. You got this Elder Scroll of Dragons, I think, or Time, maybe Time. So you go back to Parthenax, and he's like, "Awesome, good job. Go in the portal." Like, it's not actually going to send you back in time. It'll just let you see what happened, and then you can learn the shout you need to beat Alduin Dragonrend. And you're like, okay. So you watch the Nords.
Might as well.
Nords fight him, and hearing them use the Dragonrend shout, you learn it.
Right.
Good job. You get to see it play out too. It's kind of cool, like watching Alduin be like, "I'll destroy you all," and they're just like, "Eat shit," and just launch his ass into the future. Then after that, you're in the end game where you got what you need. Now you got to go fight Alduin, and he actually so he shows up, and you fight him, and you kick his ass, and he runs away.
Right.
Like you just win. But you don't kill him, and he flies off, and you're just like, Alduin's retreat. Like, we don't know where that is. We got to capture one of the other dragons, because Parthenax doesn't know.
Right.
And
see if we can't convince them to talk.
So what is it? Dragon's Reach, the White Run Castle, it was designed for that to capture dragons.
Oh.
So you learn the name of a dragon, because all dragon names are shouts, and then you can use that to summon them. It's like a variation of True Name Magic.
Oh, that's cool.
And so you do that, and you lure his ass in there, and you catch him. And then you pretty much talk to him into like, I need you to tell me where Alduin's base is and where he's at.
Yeah.
And he's like, tell you what, Alduin's lost a lot of street cred after you kicked his ass. So if you just agree to let me go free, like, I'll just take you there, and I'll just go off on my own after that. And you're like, okay, cool.
Also agreeable. And
yeah, he makes good on the deal. He flies you there, you mount up on him, and then he's just like, all right, man, like, kick his ass. And he just leaves.
Thank you, Weaselus. You're a powerful dragon.
So yeah, you fight your way through this dragon temple.
Real quick, I hope Weaselus comes back in Elder Scrolls 6. I didn't realize there was just the dragon that was like, fuck it, I'll stay in my own skin. Bye!
He's the coolest.
He's the coolest. Wearing sunglasses and everything.
You kicking Alduin's ass really made the other dragons be like, damn, with that mortal, that guy you were talking a lot of shit to, he beat you?
He's eaten like 30 of us. You can't really just think he's a regular.
You said I think I could take him. I'm built different.
Yeah.
And so you kick your way, you just beat everybody's ass through the temple. You fight like the last dragon priest there. Well, the scripted one anyway. And but Alduin has now ripped a hole into the Sovngarde. The not Valhalla of the setting.
Oh.
The Nord afterlife. And you gotta get up in there and what'd you call him? Weaselus
flies you in there.
Oh, Weasel's the homie.
Yeah.
I think you can summon a different dragon, but I like to think it's the same one.
It's the same one in my
In
head.
my heart, yeah.
Yeah.
In my canon.
Weaselus is like, yeah, let's get his ass. I knew he was a pussy.
Run the jewels.
Yeah.
And yeah, you follow him into Sovngarde. So you enter Valhalla, essentially. There's mists everywhere. And Alduin is just flying in and out of it, and he's just snatching up souls and eating them.
Easy.
And
Easy
you're like,
money.
damn, this is going to be hard with all this mist around. And then some, like a Stormcloak or an Imperial soldier is just there. He's like, hey man, there's like a monster in the mist or something, dude. Like,
Yeah, man.
we should stick together. And it's like, at the end of the mist, that way, there's the Hall of Heroes, or Shor's Hall. Like, if we can get there, I think we'll be safe. You're like, okay, fuck it, yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah,
I've been doing that a lot, just like, yeah, sure.
Why
not?
You make your way there, and then I don't remember if that guy makes it either. I want to say Alduin just snatches his ass.
Yeah, it sounds like he gets fucking hit, like raptor.
Because he's just a guy.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah. He existed to tell you that thing and then
He existed to establish stakes.
Yeah.
So you then get up to the bridge, which is guarded by Sun, the divine gatekeeper, who is I think they call him. He's one of the shield thanes of Shor. Shor is the Nordic version of Lorcan.
I see.
And
Going back to every culture having their own
Yes,
version of all
yes.
the gods, and all the and those are all also real and correct.
and they're correct.
Yeah.
Sun is here. That's the hall of Shor's Hall right there.
He died in the other continuity mythology, but no, he's good here.
No, well, Shor still died.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Sun's still kicking. Oh, he did actually die though, but this is the afterlife, so he's now the guardian. And, yeah.
Why wouldn't I be here? I died!
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
so you have to fight him in single combat to prove your worthiness. He's like he's just a giant ass like Nord man.
Right.
Like they make him like physically like you kind of have to look up at him.
You have to aim slightly up with all your melee
it's
attack.
very funny. And then you can they give you a fun little thing of like based on like the factions you've joined. He asked you, it's just like, by what right do you challenge for the entrance into Shor's Hall? And the basic one everyone gets is right by blood. I'm Dragonborn.
Yeah.
Of course I get to. And he's just like, fair enough. And then the other ones
Based.
are like,
That is true.
I'm the listener of the Dark Brotherhood by right of like dark murder or some shit. He's just like, oh, you're disgusting, but challenge accepted. Like, and so there's one of those for every faction basically. You beat him, you don't kill him or anything, but he's just like, enough, you've proved your worth. Enter the Hall of Shor.
Hell yeah.
And it's
I
just
can't
a
stop-
bunch of Viking dudes just drinking mead and being Vikings. Like,
I can't stop thinking
Good.
that this is all happening. You're just like constantly looking over your shoulder in the middle of this duel because there's still a dragon
Yeah,
out there.
flying around snatching you up, yeah.
And then, like, as soon as you win and he opens the door, he's like, welcome to the halls of Shor.
well, he's a god too, you know.
It's funny.
That'll slow him down a little bit then as you see them doing
Presumably he can hold his own, but Sun's whole thing is that he just guards the hall. Like, he doesn't move.
I hang out here.
Yeah, like, that's where he lives. So you go in the hall, and then you track down those 3 heroes you saw from the vision. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, hey, bros.
Hey, buttholes!
He's like, yeah, I'm Dragonborn. I'm kind of a big deal. I'm here to help you guys finish the job. Let's go beat his ass. And they're like, hell yeah, I thought you'd never ask. Like, and
You guys have been working on that whole we can't kill Alduin thing, right?
yeah,
Because it's
together,
really important.
you go out with those 3, and your combined shouts clear all the mists. Because you're shouting it away,
Right.
And then Alduin's like, no! And then he shouts it back.
Yes.
And then you just keep doing it until he gets mad and starts attacking you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then all together, you're like shouting at him using Dragon Rend.
Yeah.
Basically just makes him land on the ground. During that fight, he's like invincible when he's in the air. So you have to make him land to kill him. It's an okay fight. It's just, he's like a little bit bigger, I think, than the other dragons or something. He does like maybe one or two more things. It's whatever. It's fun though. It's very cinematic.
Yeah.
And you're fighting with your Nord bros who have been living in Valhalla for like 3,000 years.
Hell yeah.
And then you kill his ass. Importantly though, you don't schlorp his soul. His soul goes somewhere else.
Oh.
Presumably returned to Akatosh.
Right. He went back to, well, I guess, back to God.
So, it gets confusing because in the Nord pantheon, Alduin fills the role that Akatosh / Oriel would take.
Right.
But he's also called later on, after all the Imperial pantheon has been established, the firstborn of Akatosh, and then he calls himself that during the game. So it's very confusing.
We just need to put it with that picture of
Could just be an inconsistency. I don't know.
The understanding of the Holy Trinity, where it's Jesus and
Kinda,
the Holy Spirit.
actually. Yeah,
It's like is and is not, and they're all connected.
I actually I genuinely had that thought when I was reading it, because it's like that's the explanation of Catholicism is the whole three persons one God thing. Like, so the way they explain it is
That's what happened to Jesus. After he ascended to heaven, he was sent into the future to do battle.
That would be pretty sick.
With the flaming sword of fire.
But the way Catholicism explains it is three distinct individuals, but they're consubstantial of the same stuff.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had that thought when I was reading over that. It's just like him and Akatosh are like the same.
There's also mantling as a concept that he could be.
He's just like an aspect that went rogue.
Yeah.
Maybe. And that's Skyrim, pretty much. The main quest line.
Is that like the latest point in the Elder Scrolls like timeline?
Yes. And there's 2 DLCs, Dawnguard and Solstheim, I think. One is vampires. Wow.
Right.
How original.
Vampires versus werewolves.
Vampires versus
Featuring an Elder
werewolves
Scrolls.
was huge
Okay,
at the
so
time.
it's vampires versus Van Helsings.
Yeah.
That's
Which
what-
was huge at the time.
That's what the Dawnguard is. There's a bunch of Van Helsings. And yeah, or you can choose to be a vampire. You can join them if you want. It's whatever. It's not that great being a vampire lord. It's whatever. But
From the looks of it, it looks to just be like a quick little Super Saiyan button for a minute.
yeah, the main goal is you need to get Oriel's bow, the same bow he shot Lorcan's heart with, across the land. And depending on your choice, if you corrupt it, with the vampires, it like darkens the sun, or if you're a good boy and you
Is that their explanation for why you can just go vampire mode whenever you turned off the sun?
no, it doesn't actually like sunlight doesn't kill vampires.
Oh, never mind.
It weakens them though based on like how well fed they are.
Oh,
It does like hurt them, but it's not like an insta death
Right.
or anything. No, that's what it does though. Is you shoot it with the evil arrow and it darkens the sun for a little while, or Oriel's bow does the exact opposite, like sunburst.
activate daylight.
Yeah.
Eat
That's
that, bloodsuckers.
extremely brief explanation of what that is. There's a whole subplot of you find the last living Falmer, or who's the snow elves. The Falmer, those horrible goblin guys, they used to be elves, like the ones you find underground and stuff. But the Dwemer fucked them up real good. It's a whole thing. But there's one that's still normal, and he's been guarding Oriel's bow. That's the story. And then the Solstheim DLC is they add a whole other map, which is Solstheim, an area of Morrowind, which has pretty much been annexed, I think, at this point. Dunmer aren't doing too good. Red Mountain exploded a while ago after Vivek fucked off, and Bowdur, the giant floating asteroid that was above Vivek City, fell down.
Oh, that'll do it.
And yeah, set off the volcano, and it fucked a lot of shit up. But you go there, and then the main plot is the first Dragonborn, Mirak. He's shown up.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was a dragon priest, And he eventually betrayed the dragon cult and became the champion of Hermaeus Mora, the Daedric Prince of knowledge and secrets. And
he would like a special secret magic language of true names and shit.
Yeah, like, you know, he feels like, this is a way for me to get power and stuff. So he's now showing up. Like, if you download the DLC, he also does this, one of the first times you see him is where you kill a dragon and he shows up and he just absorbs his soul. And it's just like, thanks, asshole, and then fucks off.
What an asshole.
It's a real dick move.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off the first time it happened. I was like, that was my soul. But the whole plot is he is trying to break away from Hermaeus Mora and is doing a bunch of stuff. Hermaeus Mora wants you to stop him because he's like, that's my property. I'm not going to let him go. And then wants you to become his new champion. And that's kind of the whole plot. You go to his Hermaeus Mora's realm, which the name of I can't remember right now, but it's a sea of ink.
Oh, man.
That is... all the landmass is basically like libraries made of books. It's kind of cool. It's a neat little aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then everything that it inhabited that is there, like the monsters are Cthulhu adjacent.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Because he's a big tentacle Cthulhu monster. That's how he portrays himself.
Huh.
Is it Azathoth? That's the curse knowledge one? Or Yog-Sothoth?
Yog-Sothoth.
Yeah.
Yog-Sothoth.
Old Yogi.
Yes.
He's more than likely inspired heavily by Yog-Sothoth.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go there, and then the conclusion of this is that you do all this stuff for him, and then you beat the shit out of Mirak, and congratulations, Hermaeus Mora presumably tortures him forever after that, because he's still got his soul, and then you're now the new champion of Hermaeus Mora.
Congratulations.
Good job.
Yeah.
Every game, you seem to become a Daedric champion.
Yeah.
I'm sure that won't have
cool.
any side effects on anything.
Pretty cool guy.
And that is, all the main plots of Skyrim wrapped up as quickly as I could.
My goodness.
And with that, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for listening to our special Elder Scrolls series of lore brought to you by Mario. I believe we're going to be tackling like Oblivion other stuff and like specifically some character lore with Rob in the future.
I still got a game left, bro.
You still got a whole game left?
Yeah,
Elder Scrolls Online.
I started doing my
Yeah.
wrap-up. Never
Yeah.
mind, ignore all of that.
We'll
My
get back to the
goodness.
next episode. If you like the nature of this content, go and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. You can go and give me a follow on Blue Sky. And if you like us a lot, you can go ahead and support us on Patreon.
And if you made it to the end, thank you for listening. Thank you for putting up with me and my explanations. I love the Elder Scrolls, so I appreciate it if you made it this far.
We all appreciate it. Have a good night.
Have a good night,
Bye.
everybody.